March 3rd, 2017 was the official release day for the Nintendo Switch. While Nintendo wasn't necessarily in the gutter with the Wii U, it's safe to say that it definitely did not meet Nintendo's expectations, as if we look at their history, 13 million units is kinda poor for them. And then came the Switch. This video isn't really about the current Switch at all, but it is worth noting that it has been over 7 years since we have received a new console. And with how successful it was, Nintendo now has big shoes to fill with their successor. So today, I want to talk about 5 things that I believe the rumored Nintendo Switch 2 needs. Now, the very first thing and one of the most important aspects we should talk about are the games. Now, rumors have stated the next console will be backwards compatible with Switch games, so to be completely honest, I don't have a whole lot of wishes for this next console yet. I mean, the Switch had almost every game imaginable for the fans, so personally there are like 3 games in particular that I'm really hoping to get announced. The first one would be a sequel to Mario Odyssey 2. Either that or a new 3D Mario game in general, as sequels in 3D Mario games aren't really common. There's Galaxy 2 and then 3D World if you want to count that as a sequel to 3D Land, but I don't see a Sunshine 2 or a Mario 65, so perhaps my hopes might not come true, but really, any new 3D Mario experience would suffice. Now, the next 2 games would be Tomodachi Life and Nintendo Land, as they are 2 experiences we never ended up getting on the Switch. Now, Nintendo Land would have to work a little differently since a lot of the games on that catered to the Wii U gamepad, but even something like online play or new modes are a very easy workaround to that. And as for Tomodachi Life, I just never owned a 3DS, so I kinda missed out on that one. Yeah, that's all I'm really hoping for, because I'm not sure how long it'll take them to actually start releasing a lot of new games. I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for example, received its final update in 2023, and they doubled its content with 1 DLC. And with it being the bestseller on the Switch, I don't know when we will get a Mario Kart 9, but fingers crossed. And with a game like Smash, if the next console really is backwards compatible, it would be pretty useless for them to make a port for it. But they also stopped adding to the game years ago. Smash Ultimate came out almost 6 years ago, so I really do hope we see a new addition to the franchise. However, it would be really difficult to top a game of that magnitude, so the how is more of a concern rather than the when, because it is safe to say that the series isn't going anywhere. Now, the second thing would be better controllers. Assuming that they will continue on with the whole Joy-Con concept, there are really only 3 things I'd want changed or improved. Starting with the most important is its overall durability. I feel like the main issue with Joy-Cons is the fact that they get stick drift so quick, it's sickening. So the main fix would definitely be that, because sometimes the drift is so bad that it can't be ignored with precision-based games like a shooter or platformer. Another thing that I would like to be improved with these Joy-Cons is to add more of a grip. I don't know if that makes any sense, but the Joy-Cons are super flat and often feel really awkward to hold for long periods of time. Normally, controllers have more dimension and are bigger, so perhaps add elements of the traditional controller handles. It is one of those things that makes me appreciate how the Wii U gamepad felt, because in comparison, I do think that it sits better in the hands. And the last thing I'd change on the Joy-Cons could also be a nitpick for the comfortability, but I do dislike how the right stick sits directly under the buttons on the right Joy-Con. There are certain games where I don't play claw, so it does feel noticeably difficult to click a button, then move my thumb directly under to control the stick. Now, I do understand that the Joy-Cons are already small enough and don't have the room to move them over much, but that's for them to figure out. The Switch is severely underpowered. In the big year of 2024, Nintendo's most recent gaming system has a handheld resolution of 720p and a resolution of 1080p when docked. It's honestly unnecessary to go into crazy detail on why this is an issue, but let's set some new standards. For starters, the performance is something that I must address. It is a little annoying how a console that was released in 2017 struggles to run Fortnite, Rocket League, or Overwatch. And while technically yes, they do run alright, have you seen the gameplay? The frames drop constantly and they just lack all detail and color. The last thing I want to see are developers downgrading the visual quality of a game because they need to make sure a Nintendo console can keep up. A handheld mode should be 1080p, dock should be 4K, at the very least 1440p, but just because it's been 7 years, y'all gotta go all out with 4K now. Understood? Thank you. Fun fact, did you know that this song that you're hearing right now was found in the coding and was initially supposed to be a theme for the eShop? Now, why on earth would they have taken it out? I have no idea. Another major issue that I had with the Switch, along with many other people, is the lack of personality the console had. The Switch menu in eShop feels so lifeless with minimal sound effects and zero music. I can understand some of those changes because with the minimalism that the Switch has, it is a lot more appealing to a wider audience rather than some of the childish feels and approaches on the other Nintendo consoles, but it really isn't all that childish. I think what makes Nintendo consoles so special is that flavor that they always have. It's always the console that has so much life and personality with its cartoony designs and bizarre features. I asked for a few simple things. A more lively menu, something like the Wii U. With Miiverse, it always made booting up the Wii U so interesting. Being able to see all the Miis walking around and seeing posts was always cool. And if they are going to keep it minimalistic like the Switch, at the very least they can add some more customizable themes for the backgrounds and some music alongside some eShop themes. Now the final thing that the Nintendo Switch 2 needs is something. Like a gimmick. Any type of gimmick works. That's usually what makes them successful. The NES was new. The SNES was newer. The N64 introduced a brand new controller with joysticks. The Gamecube was a cube and introduced discs. The Wii was weird. The Wii U had a gamepad and added a U to the name. Are you noticing the pattern? Each console will always appear and offer something new, which always anticipates consumers. Now obviously each console had several new additions, but we're talking about the Switch 2 here. Now if it were up to me, my mind's blank. I'd probably throw a 2 on the dock and call it a day. I just hope Nintendo comes up with something creative. If any of you guys have any ideas, I'd love to hear it in the comments. But Nintendo, listen, I'm talking to you. Just do something different, please. Oh, and Master Chief for Smash.